starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely. Won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't leave lonely. Won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing.
Good morning and welcome to Story Time. Thank you for joining me. Happy Monday wherever you're joining us from today. Thank you indeed for being here. I am glad we're here together for another story, and almost a year to the day we bring you back Marvelous Cornelius. Yes indeed, this one coming from Chronicle Books of San Francisco, and of course this one is written by Phil Bildner and illustrations by John Parra. Yes, last time we read it was January 18th. Welcome, January 17th today. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time. I am glad you're here with us. Please let me know where you're joining in from and who is joining in with you. And I hope that you are enjoying your day off, your break. Thank you so much for being here on Story Time. I am glad we are here. Remember, today is a special day indeed as we remember Dr. King. Thank you for being here on Story Time. And I am glad you're here. How are you holding true to the legacy of Dr. King? What is your part? What are you doing in your community to make this world better? Thank you so much for joining in Story Time. And of course, today we will be reading Marvelous Cornelius. Yes, indeed, this amazing fella working out in New Orleans. Thank you so much for being here today. I am glad we're here together. Please let me know where you're joining us from and who is joining in with you. And of course, if you're joining in for the recordings later, still the same. Let us know you were here. Let us know if you have recommendations that you'd love to see here on Story Time, and we will be sure to say hello to you too. Thank you so much for joining in. Happy Monday to you. I hope you are well. It is warming up out here in Oakland. I hope that where you are, it is not too cold. Although I'm sure it's very cold in places. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time. Welcome. I am glad we're here. Thank you indeed. And as we remember Dr. King today, we read a marvelous book, but of course, we want to hear from you and hear how you are doing. Thank you. And this week, we do have special books indeed that we'll be reading, books that remind us of all the work that needs to be done in our communities to continue making them better, to continue improving, to continue growing as a people. Thank you so much for being here. Let us see who is with us this morning, ready to enjoy a good story, and of course, ready to learn and remind ourselves of this amazing person that we commemorate today. Thank you for being here. Good morning to you. Chrissy, how are you doing today? Thank you so much for joining in. Yes, indeed. Excited for today's story? Yes. Marvelous Cornelius is one of our all-time favorite books. I love it too. Thank you for joining in, and to say happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day from Bowden in snowy Vermont. Well, thank you so much, Bowden. How are you doing today? Good to see you, buddy. I am glad you're here. And of course, Chrissy, thank you so much for joining us today. I absolutely love it, love it. Thank you, thank you. Good morning to you and welcome. I hope that you are staying well. Snowy out in Vermont. Please do stay cozy. I am glad you're here joining in story time. Good morning to you. How are you doing? Sarah and Nathan also in snowy Illinois. Well, thank you so much for joining in. Nathan, oh my goodness, I hope you feel better, buddy. Oh, thank you for sharing. I hope that you feel better. Please, thank you for joining in. And of course, Sarah, good morning to you. Amanda West, how are you doing as well? And today is so happy to say, oh, yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Thank you. Thank you. I am glad to be here. I am happy that we get to spend some time together too here on this very special day. Thank you so much for joining in. I am glad you're here and wishing you feel better soon. Sending you hugs. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time. Good morning to you. Oh my goodness, all the way out in Seattle. How are you doing today? Good morning, baby Bia in the dark. Yes, indeed, still very dark out here in Oakland as well. It is so good to start our week. Oh, thank you, thank you. It is a good for me to start the week with you as well. Couldn't miss a day. I am here. Thank you so much for joining in. Baby Bia, stay bundled up and enjoy this wonderful story that we have today. Yes, indeed. Oh, ready for story time. I am glad. I hope you have everything that you need, snacks, everything good to go. Good morning to you one more time, Amanda West, Sarah, and Nathan, and of course, Chrissy Mitchell, and of course, Bolden, and everyone else that is joining in today, Amanda Waldman, and of course, baby Bia. Thank you so much for joining in Story Time. Good morning to you. Yes, indeed, we are going to be getting started with our story for today, Marvelous Cornelius, Hurricane Katrina and the Spirit of New Orleans. Yes, by Phil Bildner and illustrated by John Parra. And of course, we're reading this one with permission of Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Do get ready, do get comfortable. We will be right back after this message to enjoy our story for today. Thank you for joining in Story Time. Here we go.
Hi, my name is Zetta Elliott, and I am the author of 40 books for kids, including Dragons in a Bag and A Place Inside of Me. You're watching Storytime with Mr. LaMotta.
Thank you, Zeta Elliott. Yes, so many books out. Do look out at zetaelliott.com and find out all the amazing books that are out right now, including The Witch's Apprentice that is out now. Thank you for joining in. Are you ready for story time? Oh, yes. Bolden, are you ready? Sarah and Nathan, baby Bia, oh, everybody that is joining in today, let us know you're here, and I hope that you are ready for this wonderful story indeed. Here we go. Get ready, get comfortable. We're about to get started. Marvelous Cornelius. Oh, I know, baby Bia, you're all bundled up. You might need your dancing shoes for this one. You might need your boots to move around. All right, here we go. This one, Marvelous Cornelius, Hurricane Katrina and the Spirit of New Orleans, by Phil Bildner and illustrated by John Parra. And of course, reading it with permission of Chronicle Books of San Francisco. Here we go. And of course, we started off with a quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Even if it's called your lot to be a street sweeper, go out and sweep streets like Michelangelo painted pictures. Sweep streets like Handel and Beethoven composed music. Sweep streets like Shakespeare wrote poetry. Sweep streets so well that all the hosts of heaven and earth will have to pause and say, here lived a great street sweeper who swept his job well. Oh, yes, indeed. Oh, yes, indeed. In the quarter, there worked a man known in New Orleans as Marvelous Cornelius. Who is he? What did he do? Morning, he saluted the silver-haired man with the Times-Picayune tacked under his arm. Greetings, he waved to the couple with the baby on the balcony. Ma'am, he nodded to the woman shaking rugs out her front window. Do you say good morning to your neighbors? Do you say good morning to people in your neighborhood? That's a great way to start. And when his truck rounded the turn, "My young uns," he called to the kids crowding the corner. "Oh, marvelous Cornelius," they cheered. "Marvelous Cornelius." Oh, so much love for marvelous Cornelius. At each home, Cornelius sashayed to the curb, shimmied to the hopper. I hope you're shimmying out there too. And loading the garbage. Not a single praline wrapper ever stayed on the streets. And those spotless streets, oh, how they sparkled. Thank you, marvelous Cornelius. Oh, do your streets sparkle? Do we say thank you to the street sweepers? Woo! 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 He called to his driver when it was time to stop. Rat-a-tat-tat! Rat-a-tat-tat! He strummed the side when it was time to move. Hooty-hoo! Hooty-hoo! His favorite call of all, showtime! Oh, yes. Marvelous Cornelius. Cornelius front flipped to the curb and flung the bags over his head, behind his back, between his legs, into the truck. He lined bags along the curb and then launched them. Bag after bag after bag after bag. They landed in a perfect pyramid inside the hopper's metal mouth. Oh my goodness. It's like LeBron James or Steph Curry here. Bang! He clapped the covers like cymbals and twirled the tins like tops, wheezing and spinning back and forth across the street. Can you do that? Oh. And just like those twisting tops, Cornelius danced too. Tangoing up Toulouse, sambaing down St. Peter, rumbaing up Royal, cha-chaying down Chartres. And everyone danced along Chartres, and everyone danced along. The old ladies whistled and whirled. The old men hooted and hollered. The barbers, beard twirlers, and beignet bakers bounded behind the one-man parade. Oh my. Oh, and talking of beignet bakers, making me hungry. Oh, but then one day the storm came. The great city filled with water. Oh. Wow. And we know, we take thought to everybody that is affected. People and pets, parks and playgrounds washed away. Schools and shops, streets and streetcars washed away. For far too long, water everywhere. A gumbo of mush and mud. Oh, who will save the city? Oh, wow. So much water everywhere. A gumbo of mush and mud. Oh, wow. When those waters finally fell away, Cornelius looked out at the mountains of ruins, some as high as the steeple atop St. Louis Cathedral. What was he to do? It would take thousands of me to clean this, he wept. Millions. Where would those millions come from? Oh my. Who will help Marvelous Cornelius? Are you gonna help, kids? Oh, Marvelous Cornelius needs your help. But you know what? Even before help, Cornelius rose. He dried his eyes, for his spirit and will were waterproof. Oh, I love that. For his spirit and will were waterproof. And I hope yours are too. Oh. And just like he did every morning, he emptied the garbage into his hopper. And the kids who crowded the corner, they pitched in too. So did the silver-haired man, the couple from the balcony, the woman with the rugs, the old ladies and old men, the barbers, beard twirlers, and the beignet bakers. Everybody came together. Oh, that is so beautiful. Others too. Where did they come from? Well, from Brooklyn and Boise, Baltimore, Bakersfield, Syracuse, Seattle, Santa Fe, San Antonio. Oh, all over the place. Illinois, Vermont. They came from everywhere. They streamed to the Crescent City. Thousands, millions, a flood of humanity. Oh, I love this. Hooty hoo! Marvelous Cornelius cheered. Hooty hoo! Oh, do you want to try it out with Marvelous Cornelius? Hooty hoo! Hooty hoo! Oh, yes, yes, yes. As the great city rose again, Marvelous Cornelius, he passed on. Oh. But as for his spirit, that's part of New Orleans. New Orleans forever after. Oh. Yes, New Orleans forever after. And the spirit of Marvelous Cornelius lives on. The end. And I won't go into the author's note today, but I hope that you can get a chance, if you are able, get this book and enjoy it. Find it at your local library and go through there and read about the real life Marvelous Cornelius and find out more about him. And of course, we will try and share also videos of him on the Storytime platforms. Thank you so much for joining in today. Of course, a special day where we remember Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and of course the work that he did. And remember, he was only 39 years old when he died, but yet did so much. And we want to make sure that we're carrying on that legacy. The work continues, and we want to make sure that we're playing a part in our communities, playing a part in ways, in whatever ways that we can. So please look around, look at yourself, look within, and see what we can do to help. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. I am glad you were here today on this very special day, remembering a very special man, but of course, indeed, reading about another special person. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. Whatever you do, do it to the best of your abilities. But remember that the fight on this planet, or for this planet, is endless. There's so many things that we need to be working towards, and one of those is saving our oceans as well, making sure that we're taking care of the sea. There's so much going on, pollution, all sorts of things going on, animals that are being killed, overfishing, so many things that are happening that we need to be thinking about. And so tomorrow we're going to be looking at ways in which we can contribute, ways in which we can help our ocean. So do join me for this one tomorrow. Ocean Waves for All. Yes, indeed. Do join me for this one by Stacy McNaughty and David Litchfield. Join me for this one and let us see together how we can help the ocean and see this important resource, how we can help. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. I am glad you are here. And indeed, continue, please, being your amazing selves. And let us also remember to look at our communities and see the best ways that we can show up, the best ways that we can turn up. And this whole week, we're going to be looking at stories that encourage us, that remind us of the work that needs to be done in our communities, work that shows us that when we come together, everything is possible. Just like the people in New Orleans came together, and people from all over too came and joined hands together and made things possible. Cleanup was possible. Restoration was possible. Yes, we can begin to heal when we get together. And so we are going to be talking about books that show us that. Show us, yes, living true to the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. Remember, we can help in many ways. There are many ways that our communities needs us. So please let us find those ways, and let us find it within ourselves to go out there and be a part, be valuable members of our community. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am glad that you are here for Storytime. Hugs, hugs, hugs to each and every one of you. And I hope that you have the wonderful rest of your Monday. Enjoy it. But we're back here again tomorrow as we talk the ocean. So do join me for that one. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. One more time, thanks to you, Chrissy and Bolden out in snowy Vermont. I hope that you enjoyed that wonderful story. I am glad that you were here for Storytime today. And indeed, this one is a favorite of mine too. And almost exactly to the year that last read it here on Storytime, but I hope you've been able to read it in the meantime. Thank you so much for joining in. I am glad that you are here with us. Good morning to you, Sarah and Nathan. Sarah, Nathan, I hope that you feel better. Please continue healing, sending you hugs, sending you love. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime, even on a day like this when you're under the weather. We appreciate you and sending you all the very best. And I'm sure I speak for everybody that is here with us today. Thank you so much for joining in, Sarah and Nathan, and of course, Amanda West. Much love to you. Good morning to you one more time, Amanda, and of course, baby Bia out in chilly Seattle. Thank you so much for joining in today. I am glad you're here. Yes, indeed, spending time together. Enjoy indeed. Bundled up, stay warm. Thank you for being here on Storytime. Much love to you, Amanda, and of course, much love to Nate, and of course, Marlin. Thank you. Happy Monday to you. Yes, indeed, as we celebrate and remember a great man indeed. Thank you so much for joining us. Yes, sending you hugs as well, and of course, to all the Storytime friends. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. Chrissy Mitchell Adams, you're saying thank you for the reminder and encouragement. Absolutely, and it's a great day to donate to your local mutual aid fans. Yes, indeed. Thank you too for your reminder, Chrissy. Absolutely, and you know what? I will be trying my best to see what I can do as well for my community. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime, everybody. This has been Storytime for today. Thank you. Absolutely appreciate each and every one of you. And please remember that tomorrow we are back with another story, Ocean, Waves for All. And yes, indeed, we'll be looking at this marvelous resource that is there for us and seeing ways in which we can help. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime. I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful time, you and your loved ones. Much love from me. Hugs and kisses to each and every one of you. And I'll see you again tomorrow for more Storytime. Enjoy your day off if you have the day off. And of course, have a wonderful, wonderful time, you and your loved ones. And sending special love, especially to you today, Nathan. Feel better, buddy. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Much love.
Read me all of the stories. Read me all of the stories. Some with people that look like me, others very different from the way that I look and think. Read me all of the stories. Read me all of the stories. Some stories from far away, others right here in my neighborhood. Story time. Story time. Story time with Mr. Lamada. He will be starting soon. Story time with Mr. Lamada, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing. Brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be